Hi everyone, this is Abra, and I'm back to give my 2 cents on the movie God's Country. Directed by Julian Higgins and starred Thandiwe Newton. I hope I'm saying that right. She is from Westworld fame. Where to begin with this movie? Oh my goodness. When this movie starts out, it like right from the get-go, it starts out, it has this kind of blue filter, just feels very sad, morose, and I think for the first 5 minutes or so, the actress, Thandiwe, she doesn't even speak, like nobody says a word, and it starts out, her mother dies, and you see her kind of in the midst of her grief, dealing with that, and it looks like they don't even have a funeral, which later you see why, because she just moved to the town, hasn't really had a chance to, kind of assimilate, become part of the town. She's still kind of an outsider. So she has her mother cremated, and it just kind of sets the tone for the movie that it's just sad and depressing. So Thandiwe, she's dealing with this grief. She's a college professor. Her semester's ending. One of the head people on the campus, they're retiring, and so they're trying to pick new people, and this gives the director a chance to highlight how the faculty are only going to focus on a white male, and it portrays white people in this very negative, just bigoted, racist kind of way. And I'm not saying that doesn't exist. Yes, there's going to be bad people around, but I don't really see this movie highlighting anything new, and it's not doing anything to open anyone's eyes. It just seems like it's something to rub more salt on the open wound. So the main character, I don't even know what her name was in this. It was Sandra. Okay, so Sandra, she's coming home, after just sitting on the board where they have to pick a new faculty member, and, she's disillusioned with that, and she sees an empty truck sitting on her property, and she lives out in the middle of nowhere, which I think would be a horrifying prospect in this kind of wilderness area. She ends up leaving a note. She doesn't wait to see what these people are doing, but come to find out, the people that were in the truck were hunters, and she didn't like that they were hunting on her land, so she left kind of this very terse note, don't park on my land, I don't want you hunting on my land, which, I understand that's reasonable, but right off the bat, she is kind of creating this tension, and I'm not saying that she was wrong being upset, but she went into the situation with a certain attitude, and I don't know how she could expect anything else but more hostility back towards her. So the next day she comes, she sees the truck there again. They're hunting again, and it looks like they left some dead bird there, and she finds her letter that she had left on their windshield complaining about them parking there. She finds that ripped up. So she contacts the sheriff, and the sheriff's like, this is a huge jurisdiction, and there's only me, and there's not a lot I can do. This is a type of situation that would have best been resolved with you and the hunters. But of course, it doesn't stay that way, and the story progresses, and you just see this conflict between Sandra and the two hunters. The conflict continues to escalate, and there's no real reason that this had to happen, but all it does is highlight, the shortcomings of small town America's white people. The sheriff is ineffective. Oh, why can't you just get along? Why are you making waves? The hunters are just redneck, stupid white guys that just have to have their guns and drink their beer and all that. Her student that comes to her for help, ends up kind of turning her back on her in a certain way. And there was nothing about this movie that was really pleasant. It all felt uncomfortable. It didn't seem for any benefit other than just to highlight just horrible behavior. And without spoiling the ending, I'll just say that it does end on a sour note with no real resolution. I don't see the point of movies like this. I enjoy going to the movie for escapism, and yes, not every movie can be some fantasy type, sci-fi type, escapist movie, but I don't go to a movie to be guilted because I was born a certain way.
I have a dream. My 4 little children one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream.
At some point, we have to say, let's quit trying to define ourselves by our differences, and let's focus on what unites us. and then we can start tackling the real problems of the world. But God, this movie was just misery. I go to a movie to be entertained. I wasn't entertained at all. Lots of eye rolling. I'm surprised I didn't dislodge my retina. I can't really give this a recommend. And the acting was just kind of blah. The main actress, poor Thandiwe, she looked like she was just suffering with intestinal problems the whole time. I mean, just everything about this movie was just miserable with no real point. I mean, if you just want to show how horrible human beings are, I guess that could be a point. But yeah, the cinematography in the sense of filming the surroundings was pretty, but that's about it. Do better, Hollywood. Not saying everything has to be, happy-go-lucky, but let's not just keep drudging up stuff and making our present situations more miserable. Let's focus on making the world better and positivity. That's my 2 cents on God's Country. God, what a morose outing that was. But I got to have some good popcorn and some carbonated beverage, so that was good at least. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, this is Abra. Take care.